This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Like so many things in the world of Donald Trump, they can't be taken at face value. He says one thing and doesn't follow through. So many lies, so much misinformation, so much propaganda, so much just a derivation from the norm of politicians who don't necessarily tell the truth. It's different with Donald Trump. He is just an unabashed liar, a disgusting liar on a scope and on a scale that we've never seen. So it should come as no surprise that now there's questions about whether or not Donald Trump is going to actually take the vaccine that he's been touting and taking responsibility for the development of for all these months. Reading from the Business Insider. Well, first of all, before we get to that, before I read from this article, I guess I'll read because there's a list of people. There's several leaders who have committed to on television, live on TV, getting the vaccine. Biden, who will take the vaccine sometime between December 21st and December 23rd, CNN reported. Biden said Wednesday that when I do it, I'll do it publicly. Vice President Mike Pence and his wife will be injected on live TV on Friday to boost vaccine confidence, according to Axios. Barack Obama said on December 2nd he will get the vaccine live on TV. Bill Clinton will get the shot live on TV, his press secretary told CNN on December 2nd. George W. Bush is happy for public inoculation. Freddie Ford, Bush's chief of staff, told CNN on December 3rd. So there's a long list of prior presidents and vice presidents who know that it is going to bolster public confidence if they take the vaccine. They get the vaccine administered on TV. And where's Donald Trump? He wants it both ways, just like he does with everything. He wants to say, I'm going to take the vaccine, and then not actually do it. He wants to say he's going to do it, and then maybe he's not. Just like for months, he refused to wear a mask. For months, he stood at the podium giving his daily coronavirus updates and made fun of people for wearing a mask in the room. Didn't wear a mask until really public pressure just made it so he had to wear a mask. And then once he did, they said, well, he wears a mask. But for months, you didn't. He wants it both ways so he can appeal to whatever aspect of the MAGA movement. So I'm going to read from this, the 3 paragraphs. This article, Trump is conspicuously absent from the list of public figures getting a coronavirus vaccine soon. President Donald Trump is noticeably absent from the growing list of politicians, former presidents, and public figures setting a date to receive the coronavirus vaccine. On Friday, a vaccine created by Pfizer and BioNTech became the first vaccine to be approved in the United States by the Food and Drug Administration. Since then, a large number of U.S. political personalities have committed to getting the vaccine. Although Trump has indicated he has plans to take a vaccine, he has prevaricated and has yet to put a date on it. Now, the reason that this is news is that there was a scheduled plan to have the White House staff inoculated, because they work in close contact with the president and the vice president. And from a national security standpoint, you don't want the office of the White House to be, although they already have been, completely overrun by the virus. Trump tweeted this, canceling that effort to have them inoculated. People working in the White House should receive the vaccine somewhat later in the program, unless specifically necessary. I have asked that this adjustment be made. I am not scheduled to take the vaccine, but look forward to doing so at the appropriate time. Thank you. Well, like I said, he's already infected them anyway, so this really isn't too much of a loss, but it does bring into question whether or not he plans to get the vaccine. Because in Donald Trump's dumb brain, he believes he's immune in perpetuity from getting the coronavirus because he's already had it. Science doesn't bear that out. You may be immune for a short period of time after having been infected, but it's not for life. We don't know yet. The science isn't in. The research isn't in. There hasn't been enough data collected to make that determination. We've already seen a handful, dozens of cases of people being reinfected by the coronavirus. So his wacky machinations about his immunity are just that. They're stupid, they're wacky, they're dumb, they're uninformed, they're not based in science. But what do you expect from Donald Trump? The other thing about it is the fact that you can't trust Donald Trump. The insanely large list of times that Donald Trump has said he's going to do something and then lied about it. It started with him, I'm going to self-fund my campaign. I'm really rich. He didn't self-fund his campaign. He's still begging. Multiple emails a day. There were dozens of emails per day. It's slowed down a little bit now, but he's begging for money. He's not self-funding. Mexico didn't pay for his border wall. For how long has he been, in 2 weeks, going to release his health care plan? For how many years has 2 weeks been the number? I'm going to release a great, fantastic healthcare plan in 2 weeks. He's a liar. And now we're learning that all along his administration was fueling this effort to infect Americans with the virus to promote an unproven and dangerous policy coordination of herd immunity. We want them infected, Trump HHS appointee said in email, pushing to expose infants, kids, and teens to COVID to reach herd immunity. Herd immunity doesn't work. If herd immunity worked, we wouldn't need a vaccine for polio or measles, mumps, and rubella. We wouldn't need these things because herd immunity would take care of it. Smallpox, we wouldn't need vaccines if herd immunity was an effective course of action against deadly pathogens. This has been released. These emails from Paul Alexander, who is a senior advisor to Michael Caputo, who just had to leave after calling scientists and doctors within the Health and Human Services Department seditious for disagreeing with Donald Trump. And I'm going to read a couple of paragraphs from this redacted email that was just brought to Congress. From Paul Alexander. Infants, kids, teens, young people, young adults, middle-aged with no conditions, etc., have zero to little risk. So we use them to develop herd. We want them infected. We want them infected. There isn't a 0% chance that you're going to die or have very serious medical complications for life if you're a child or an infant or a young person or middle-aged. In fact, we've seen an uptick in young people having serious and life-threatening complications from this. And this was the plan of the administration. We want them infected. Here's another. And stop Fauci from talking. He is confusing people. He flip-flops the message too much, and the result is now he is not credible. I talk to lots of people and read the, I don't know if he means IT world or it world. Others are, he is not. His messaging is not consistent, so you don't know what the best science is advocating. This was a concerted effort within the administration to stymie the effort to combat this virus, to try to shut up Dr. Fauci. Because if there ever has been conflicting messages, they're not conflicting. They seem conflicting when they say, no need to wear a mask, and then when new data and new research comes in that says, oh yeah, people do need to wear a mask because we're learning about this virus, that's not conflicting. That's new information or a new understanding of previously held information. But the Trump dummies don't get that. They don't understand how science fundamentally works. Last paragraph from this dipshit, and then we're going to move on. Thus, the discussion has to be urgently, how do we protect the vulnerable while letting the rest of society free? The infants and children who are at low or no risk, the teens who are also at no risk, the young people at very small risk of severe illness, young adults at low risk, and folks with no conditions, etc., allowing them to spread it and be infected, kind of like measles parties. He's advocating, well, first of all, measles is a wretched and horrible disease that is highly infectious. You don't need measles parties. Maybe he's talking about chicken pox parties. But he's advocating people, and he's saying in here, little to no risk. You're still putting lives in danger. And this was the methodology all along of the Donald Trump administration. Chasing herd immunity. So it should come at no surprise that Donald Trump's lack of understanding of science is fueling the possibility that he's not going to get the vaccine. But you should get the vaccine. It is highly effective. It is overwhelmingly safe. And it is the only path forward to set the world, but also the United States, on a path of normalcy, of being able to go out to dinner without risk of dying of an infectious disease, being able to send our kids to school without fear of them bringing something home and infecting everyone in the family, including the grandparents. We're finally in a position here within the next month or so, just about a month, of having a president and vice president who actually care about science and respect research and data and the methodology by which it is collected and analyzed. We don't have that now. What do you think, though? 714-576-4054. Email me daily at dollemore.com. I appreciate you. I would also appreciate if you consider supporting my work here on YouTube for fewer than $2 a month. For fewer than $2 a month. You can help support my work, my independent voice, my independent analysis and commentary on the headlines of the day. You know, going forward, we're going to have a lot of, there's going to be a change in kind of content for a lot of people in my space on YouTube. It's not going to be Trump all the time. There's going to be a lot of substantive, this is going to be a channel for substantive conversations about policy, not just the salacious, insane headlines of the day. Other ways you can support my work are on my merch. Dollemore.info will redirect you to my Teespring store. There's all kinds of good stuff there. Every little bit goes a long way. If I'm able to marshal the size of my audience, we could do some big things. Anyway, follow me on social media. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Until then, be genuine. Take care of one another.